Just paid a visit to a little village about 4 or 5 mile away called Penkridge, and each Wednesday and Saturday they have a little market on. There's a guy there what sells gardening sundries and bits and dabs, and it's there where I get my peas from. I've just picked up some Kelvedon Wonder and Hurst Green Shaft. He sells them in half pint and pints, and I've had 2 half pints, one of each. I'll just that's a fair amount, and the total cost of that, each packet, was £1.95. That's a bargain. I'm not quite ready to sow them yet. The Kelvedons will be going in first, but what I'll do when I'm ready, I will soak them overnight as usual, and then sow them in the gutter in a bit later on. During yesterday I decided to start off some shallots. There's 24 here in a 6x4 cell tray. The variety is Golden Gourmet. I have got a few more to put out, but I'll probably stagger the way I sow them. This is in the greenhouse on the allotment, and I'll just put them in there and just pop a little propagator lid over the top. Well, we've got a bit of a break in the weather now. The sun's shining and we haven't had no rain for a day or two, so I've started to trench this house. I'm digging it about a foot deep and then filling it with manure, then putting the topsoil back on, and gradually I'll move the soil backwards. As you can see, I've done this first row here and it's raised the level up by almost a foot, and hopefully I should be able to get most of this done today if the weather holds out. I've dug a trench out. It's about a foot deep, foot square, right the way along, and I've just trod the bottom in to firm it down, and now I'll just top it up with a bit of horse manure and compress that in as well. I've just dug out the last partition of the first bed section, and I've trampled the bottom in. As you can see, I've gone down a fair depth. What I'm going to do now is put the horse manure in the bottom up to probably about 2 inches above the bottom of the plank, and then I'll trample it down quite firmly and then fill in and see if we get the soil up to somewhere near the top. At last it's finished. One down and still one to go. I put quite a lot of horse manure with straw in there, so I do expect it'll drop 2 or 3 inches. However, I'll leave it for a couple of weeks and then I'll give it a top dressing with some well rotted horse manure I've got in the bays. I managed to dig all the parsnips up, and the original plan was to put them in a box like this with sand in to store them, but we've had our fill, I think, of parsnips, so rather than just throw them away, I'm going to leave them in here in the dark, in the cool, and sell them to the store, and if we do require any, I'll see if we can find anything which is fit to eat. The sun's starting to go down now, and we've come to the end of what's been really quite a good productive day. I'm glad I got the first bed done of the new bed I've put in, and got the manure in and the topsoil back on the top. That's looking good now. You might recall on the clip or two earlier I did fetch the parsnips out. Well, that bed I've just put the fork over the top, and the soil is really rich. The number of worms in there is unbelievable. So I've turned all that over. That's looking okay. What I might do is leave it for a day or two, because I think we've got some frost coming in tonight, and then I'll possibly put another 2 or 3 inches on the well rotted horse manure and cover that for till the start of the planting season. I'll just show you what I've done. This is the bed where the parsnips was, and the that little bit of horse manure waiting to go in the new bed. I've just gone over with the fork, just turned it over, really get a bang with the fork. The clods have broken up quite easily, but to say the worms, number of worms in there is fantastic. What I'll do is I'll just leave it for a while and possibly put another 2 or 3 inches of well rotted manure on, just to take it to the top of the boards, and then cover it with the black polythene. Well, good morning folks, it's the 23rd of February. It's a bit cool and damp this morning, although the sun's just coming up, so it looks as though that could burn off and we could be in for another decent day like we did yesterday. In the meantime, while it's a bit cool, I'm going to spend the first hour or so in the greenhouse, and I've decided I'm going to sow me sweet peas. I bought some sweet peas from Wilco's. Yeah, I've got Singing the Blues, which is all blue one, and 2 packets of old-fashioned mix. So keeping with tradition and the method which has been very successful for me last year anyway, I'll be soaking the peas probably overnight tonight. Then I'll be setting them down tomorrow in the root trainers for the sweet peas, and also I'll be planting my first lot of garden peas. These are again Wilco's, early onward, and I'll be soaking them overnight and putting them out in the gutter, but keeping it in the greenhouse. Normally I'll sow my sweet peas at the end of autumn and over winter and that, but unfortunately last year I wasn't able to do that, because it's safe to say now, when I first come onto the site we had a couple of plot elders who was known, well, thieves actually, and but nothing ever come about it, and unfortunately for them I caught them on my plot, and they was actually taking the sweet pea pods off my plant that I was saving to sow this year. So one thing led to another, and without going into politics, I ended up having to phone the council myself, arrange for the council to come down, met them, and the top and bottom of it, the plot elders was causing all the problems, stealing, trespassing, that, and no longer renewing their lease, and have actually gone off the site already. So on top of that, I think it's another reason we need to get a committee formed on this site, so that it's not down to one person either doing or not doing the job they should be. And well, that's enough of politics. Politics for me, that ain't gardening. Gardening is getting some enjoyment out of it and watching stuff grow. So let's carry on. That's the early onward peas, just in a normal little drinks bottle with the water in. Put the cap on, and these are the sweet peas. So I'm going to leave them overnight, and hopefully we'll be sowing them in the morning. Just looking at the first early potatoes now, and the chits are starting to form quite nicely, so I've decided to get them into the 30 litre pots and then put them in the greenhouse inside on the allotment. This is just normal multi-purpose compost, nothing special. In fact, it's a bit I had got left over from last year. I'd left it in one of the bins in the bag. Looks alright. But what I will do, I'll supplement it with some of this stuff. This is a 6X natural manure. It smells delicious. I use it quite a lot when I plant the main seed potatoes out in the garden, but also it's good as a top dressing for your normal veg as well. And you can also hang it in a sack in water and make a tea. Very good stuff. This is highly recommended. That's the first layer in, and so because these solely dependent on me remembering to water them, especially in the greenhouse, what I will do is add a couple of layers of these water retaining crystals. And just from the pound shop I got them, just stick them in there, mix them in the soil, and it does swell up to a little jelly, and the roots do tend to cling on them, which helps a lot. So just mix that into the soil now, and the roots will find it. These are the swift seed potatoes, and as you can see, they've chitted quite nicely. That's the first bucket planted up. Labels on. There's one more to do. I'll water them, then get them into the greenhouse. These potato buckets here are the ones I used for my first earlies last year. Still got the soil in. I'm just going to empty it out now, and then I'll probably use this for potting the rhubarb crowns. I've got a couple of rhubarb crowns over there I want to pot up because I've not got a place to put them yet. So I'll just empty this out, and then I'll top it up with the good compost we've already got for the second lot of Swift. Here's a rhubarb crown, well, one of them that I'm going to pot up. As you can see, the buds are starting to form already on it, so it's time to get it in the bucket. I've potted the rhubarb up, and because the shoots was showing, I've got this galvanised dustbin here. There's no base in it, so I've put that over the top of the bucket, and I'm going to force the rhubarb and have some nice fresh pink stems hopefully. For any of you keen photographers out there, I just want to share with you this new lens I've got. It's a Canon 24-105 zoom. It's the L series, the professional range, as you can tell with the red band round here. And I've got a bit of a problem with fogging on the front element. I don't know what's caused it really, but well, we might have to have a look inside. Cheers. Well, we had a real humdinger of a frost last night, and as you can see, it went down to minus 1.5 in the allotment greenhouse, and that's with 2 candles on, so I reckon it was about minus 5 last night. Just looking here, this is the peas which I put into soak, and you can see how the volume has increased with taking in water. If I can do it, I'll put a couple of stills on for you to compare the before and after, so you can actually see the difference in change. This is my trusty pea gutters. I've got 2 different lengths because sometimes I go across the bed, sometimes I go down the length of the bed, so there's one set 6 foot and another set 8 foot. It's just normal guttering, and there's drainage aisles all the way along. Well, I decided to do a bit of al fresco gardening. The sun's out, so I might as well make the most of it. As I said before, these are the trusty gutters. I've got some compost, so I'm just going to top it up and we can get sowing. This is just normal multi-purpose verve compost. Not sure if you can see these very good. These are the peas, and they're more or less doubled in size since the soaking, so I'm just going to scatter them randomly along the base of the guttering. One in all, it's the 25th of February, and it's a glorious day again. We had a bit of frost overnight, but the sun's come up again, it's done the job. It's now 35 degrees in the greenhouse, so I'm going to do a bit of sowing. I've just done a tray of sunflowers in some peat pots. There's 12 of them, and I'll just show you what I'm doing. So I've sown these in 3-inch peat pots, because the last time I grew sunflowers, they didn't take kindly to transplanting on. They went a bit droopy for a while, and so I thought if I plant them on the peat pots, they'll put them straight into the ground. This is a variety called Titan, and there we go, there's the label on the box as well. There's a dwarf French marigold called double mixed. Now this is a first one for me, growing this, but fortunately a few weeks back, I think Dan from Allotment Diaries, he put a video up of how he sows them, and I'm going to copy the same. What I've done, I've put a cell tray in there with it's seed compost, and I've added a bit of perlite in, and then I've just bodged the holes in. So now I'm going to sow 2 or 3 seeds in each one, just like Dan did. As you can see here, I'm using my trusty seed sower just to just a couple more cells left to do. And there we have it. All I need to do now is close the hole in. That's exactly what Dan did. I'll give him a water, and that's another one then for the shelf ready to put the propagator on. Next up is it's a 9 cell I've done of Golden Acre summer cabbage. I've put about 2 or 3 seeds in each cell. I'll probably end up planting about half a dozen out, that's all. To finish this episode off, I've just sown the sweet peas, the multicoloured and the singing the blues one. And there's about 3 seeds per cell in there, so hopefully we should get a decent show out of there. Well, it's been a busy day today. There's lots of sowing, and the season's well underway now. But I think I'll wrap this one up now. Hopefully, next episode we should be able to get the second bed done, and a few more sowings in as well. So until then, see you again. Bye for now.